Cricket presents The Campfire, and today we are taking a deep dive into 3-5A Division II. The teams in this 9-team district are Argyle, Arlington-Seguin, Burleson, Colleyville Heritage, Everman, Grapevine, The Colony, Summit, and Timberview. Let's analyze this district in our film session. It's one thing to have a tough 9-team district with no margin for error, but when 6 of the 9 teams were in the playoffs a year ago and 2 more missed by 1 game, well, that makes for quite a competitive district. Argyle will be a favorite to go to the postseason as they return McGuire Gasperson behind center and receiver Will Krasiak to play pitch and catch with. But they will be challenged by Colleyville Heritage, who actually beat the Eagles in the playoffs last year. The Panthers may not score as much as last year, but they bring back a lot of their defense. Timberview and Summit make the move into the district to add even more talent to Region 1. The Wolves will be looking for a quarterback, but they return Jalen Woods in the backfield and Sean Larry on defense. Summit will have Damaris Bird returning at quarterback, but they have some stars on the defensive line to replace. The Colony also has a stud signal caller back in Carson Cox, and they only missed the playoffs by 1 game last year. So did Arlington-Seguin, who may have the best receivers in the district with Carterius Brown and Malachi Michi. Grapevine and Everman may be taking some steps back as they have plenty of holes to fill on both sides of the ball. Meanwhile, Burleson is still in need of a head coach as Chad Worrell left during the offseason. Freeflation leaves economists baffled. Getting more for less? It's true for those who switch to Cricket and get a free Samsung Galaxy A14 5G. Smile, you're on Cricket. For an even deeper look at 3-5A Division II, here's producer Ward Fasold and insider Matt Diggs with the district breakdown.
All right, it's district breakdown time, and I'm excited because me and Diggs are finally into some districts, and we are talking 5A Division II districts, starting with 3-5A Division II. We got back-to-back monster districts. Monster not only because they're 9-team districts, but because they have such amazing teams in it. I mean, somebody's not going to make the playoffs, and there's like 6 or 7 of them that are used to it almost every year. Talk to me about the strength of this district first, and then start breaking them down for me, Diggsy.
Yeah, Ward, I mean, I'd be remiss if I didn't just have to criticize the UIL just a little bit for this. I mean, where I think, the UIL can only do so much. I think this is the year that everybody really knows that we need a 7A, because when you have to compact 36 teams in the 4 Metroplex districts, and then you have it in this kind of a format, to me, it's telling us it's time. It's time. We got to do something with this, because you got 4 and 5 team districts in part of the state, and you got 36 teams in 4 districts, and we got some really good teams. And Ward, I remember last year, I'm going to give you all of the credit when it comes to my district champion prediction, because you said you talked to Coach Rogers over there at Argyle, and they said they're about a year or 2 away from being really, really good. And when you look at what they got coming back, Ward, you got McGuire Gasperson coming back at quarterback. You got Will Krasiak at wide receiver, Braden Bach at tight end. For me, even though they lost last year to Colleyville Heritage, and Colleyville Heritage is in this district, right, I got to give Argyle the nod when it comes to the district front runners.
Hey, man, give me the 1 through 9 before we preview next week.
Through 9, I've got number 1, Argyle, number 2, Colleyville Heritage, 3, Mansfield Timberview, 4, Mansfield Summit. All 4 of those are going to be serious threats to make regional runs, could potentially make it to the state semifinals, just on the outside looking in. And again, Ward, these are all really good teams. We're not saying, you're 5th place in this district, you're no good. You're 5th place in this district, and you're a hard luck 5th place. I got the Colony 5th, Arlington-Seguin 6th, Grapevine 7th, Everman 8th. Playoff teams, 7th and 8th. In Burleson, I've got them 9th.
Hey, Dix, thanks for joining us, man. And I appreciate you giving us 1 through 9, even though we're in April. But you always come through for us.
What I'm here for, Ward.
We'll post the entire breakdown segment this Wednesday on our social media pages. Now let's take a look at some game changers and our players on the rise, brought to you by Parker University. Arlington-Seguin's Carterius Brown could be the best offensive player in the district. The speedster is one of those athletes who, when he gets the ball out in space, you just watch him go. Brown caught 30 passes for 411 yards and 4 scores last year, and as a sophomore caught 37 balls for 977 yards and 9 TDs. With an inexperienced quarterback behind center, the Cougars will be depending on Brown for some big yards after the catch. As a sophomore, McGuire Gasperson wasn't supposed to start for Argyle. Well, due to an injury to the Eagles starter, not only did Gasperson start for the majority of the season, but he was the district's offensive MVP. McGuire threw for 1,465 yards and completed over 64% of his passes. Gasperson also threw 23 touchdowns as he led Argyle to an undefeated district campaign. With so much experience, the Eagles are looking for an even more impressive junior season from McGuire. Mansfield Timberview's defense will be hard to stop in 2024, and the Wolves are led by defensive lineman Dylan Battle. The senior had 27 tackles last year and 8 tackles for loss. Because of the district the Wolves played in last year, Battle didn't play much in the second half of games, but still managed 4 sacks as well. The big 315-pounder has offers from Cal, LSU, and TCU, among others. In the secondary for Timberview stands hard-hitting safety Nathan Tillman. In 8 games last year, Tillman made 34 tackles and broke up 6 passes. As a sophomore, Nathan made 44 tackles and added an interception. Tillman also dominates the hurdles for the Timberview track team. Expect another big season from Nathan before he takes his talents to SMU for his college ball. Players on the Rise is brought to you by Parker University. Do you or your student want a career training the world's best athletes? Check out our bachelor's degree in strength and human performance today. Cricket Wireless has an offer that's going to blow up your group chat. 4 lines for only $25 per month each with nationwide 5G. Smile, you're on Cricket. Our Ward Fasold caught up to Arlington Seguin head coach Joe Gordon to talk about his Cougars in our Media Day segment.
All right, it's Media Day. We're joined with Arlington Seguin head coach Joe Gordon, one of my favorite coaches out there. Coach, I know it's early, but we talking 3-5A Division II. You saw the district when they came out with realignment. Did you take your heart medicine before you took a look at that district? Were you sitting down? I mean, this district looks to be unbelievable, and only 4 teams make it out of the 9 that are in there. Talk to me about the teams you got in there and how you feel that Cougars can kind of craft their way into putting themselves in playoff potential.
Yeah, well, first and foremost, man, there's nothing short or nothing light in this district. Realignment put together what I think is probably one of the toughest leagues you'll see on a Friday night in the fall. And with that being said, every program that's in there is well-deserved. Really full of a lot of great coaches, a lot of great programs that are year in and year out taking care of business. So I think from that standpoint, when they rolled it out and we saw what it was going to look like, I think the first thing to my mind was, it's going to be very interesting. Week in and week out, it's going to be very interesting. And the next thing was, it's going to be some really good football, okay? Some really good football and a multitude and variety of styles. So I think that, everyone involved in this league, in this fall is very capable of running the distance and running the table. There's not a team in our league that I think you could say they won't be in the conversation when things begin to shake out. As far as who gets out, that's going to be the tale of the tape, and I think only time will tell us that. I think it's really, really early to say who's going to be who. But what I do know is, every team in our league has the capability of upsetting anyone on any given night.
Appreciate it, Coach. Thank you very much.
You can catch the entire interview Friday on our social media channels. That's going to do it for this week's Campfire. Next week, we take a look at 4-5A Division II. Until then, have a great week, everybody.